Oh, there we go. We're live. Hey, I'm it's Hank, I guess, and Venus.
Hello, this is Venus.
Yeah, it's Hank and Venus, and well, not my name.
It should have been Bob and Venus.
Should have been Bob and Venus, B and B. It would have been better. But we're just gonna kind
Okay,
of
yeah,
ramble
no,
on about Islam today.
yeah, no. Well, actually, the working title is Venus and Vagina. It doesn't matter. So there you go. It's Venus and Vagina. Okay,
Venus
topic.
and Vagina. I forgot my name for a second. So we're just gonna talk about uh some of the stuff that's been going on. We had 2 attacks yesterday in Paris with uh hammers and knives, respectively. 2 women were attacked last night, I think, with 2 hammers, and then there was a guy that was attacked, a soldier actually, stabbed with a knife, and we had this bombing last night as well in London. So we've all been attributed to ISIS, one of dozens, if not hundreds, of terrorist attacks that have happened this week. And basically, we've come to the conclusion that Islam itself, as a particularly Sunni Islam, is pretty gay. Like,
Yeah.
it's gay.
I think the correct pronunciation for the term here would be gay. But yeah, that's what you meant to say. As the title of the podcast would say, it's Islam is gay. But yeah, the whole commentary is that at least within the context of Islam, Sunni Islam with very specific points with Wahhabism and Salafists being probably among the biggest threats that we have against the West. I mean, there's already proof of it, with Saudi Arabia basically being a country that we get far too much aid to. They use a lot of that money towards building mosques in other parts of the world. In the U.S., their funding can be attributed to probably about 80% of mosques within the U.S., which is rather terrifying.
These are Saudis.
Those are Saudis, and they're primarily trying to spread themselves out for their own influence, and basically doing so on the American's dollar. And that's mostly due to the fact that we basically just happen to have a boner for their massive oil supplies, which is very lamentable. And you could also, and so it's a very dangerous thing that we're doing, feeding them, considering the fact that out of all branches of Islam that you could pick from, Wahhabism is literally one of the most retarded that you could have. You might as well just give all of the supply money to the Westboro Baptist Church. If anything, they'd be able to do something way more funny and edgy. The Wahhabis are basically just like we have the cube. Please visit the cube, the murder cube. It's really good.
Really good.
It's Habibi, please visit the cube. Otherwise, I'll chop your hand. BBB, please. Pug.
Yeah, and I mean, there's obviously a lot of problems with the Saudis and certainly the Gulf states in general. Not the fact that they've not taken in, none of them have taken in a single refugee from the Syrian conflict, or Iraq, etc. But the big thing is the values they hold are not at all. I don't know how to put this. They're not at all applicable. They're not applicable. They don't work in. They're not compatible with Western civilization. Now that's why we say they're gay, because homosexuality, for example, being gay, where you're not really promoted to, their intention is not to procreate. It's just to have mindless orgasms as a homosexual and have sex. And that's all human relations are for them.
The proverbial poop dick, as you might say.
For her proverbial poop, very eloquently put. Uh, their society is not compatible in the same way homosexuality is not compatible to create families. It just simply isn't. We can't in vitro fertilize every single baby and just continue having mindless orgasms. That's not any positive existence. That's not virtuous. That's not universally preferable in any way, shape, or form. So Islam.
Are you implying that you don't want to put money into anus baby research? I mean, come on, that sounds pretty interesting. Don't you want some anus babies? Huh? Huh? No anus babies?
Maybe like 20 years. I'm not ready for anus babies yet. But the society itself that the Quran dictates that was written in the Quran that was dictated by Muhammad, who was this like crazy warlord that existed several hundred years ago. I mean, there's just it's totally incompatible. The whole idea of female genital mutilation, they're bringing in, very, very almost they encourage state promotion of dress codes for women. Okay. Now, obviously, I like women dressing conservatively as much as the next guy. I think more people are coming to that realization. We're not thought apologists by any stretch of the imagination, but
if anything, we can probably give a little bit of respect to them for being such a trustworthy member of the Thought Patrol. But admittedly, we cannot embody everything that they support. In the very least, the Thought Patrolling we can manage, but everything else is going to be a little bit more, maybe not so much that.
Certain, I mean, public beheadings and stuff, unacceptable. This really suicidal loser mentality of, especially as the Islamic Caliphate, the Islamic State, Daesh, ISIS, whatever you want to call it, is kind of shrinking in on itself. Assad's winning, God bless him.
The Lion of Syria is indeed winning, and he has given the proper Syrian Venus to the ISIS cancer. They definitely have tasted plenty of it, which is a good thing, and hopefully they can keep at it.
Yeah, so we have this situation right now in the Middle East that they have created in of themselves, and it's suicidal for us to continue to import these people that have nothing in common with any other culture, and they get away with things that no other immigrant group is able to get away with. Certainly, immigrant groups, we're Venus and I are both fucking dirty immigrants, but and we bring our ethnic groups have to bring their own fair share of problems. For myself, as a Gook, we bring in the problems of.
They like to scam people. Their language sounds like you're choking them, even if you're not choking them, it sounds like you're choking them.
I'm flattered.
I mean, their food, I mean, is very questionable. I mean,
the food is really good. Excuse you. Well, that's a topic for another day. We'll chat.
I mean, you don't really know if you're eating fluffy or you're eating chicken, so it's up to you to decide. I mean, in my case, I'm a South American, so a lot of people like to think, oh, tasty food and thick, the two C's ideally, thick women are usually our main export. At least specifically for where I'm from, according to 4chan.
And also lots of crime. Lots of gang shootings, lots of crime, lots of communists. You import a lot of those to every single country.
Admittedly, I will differentiate myself that by saying that I'm South American, I'm actually not Mexican. That's more of a Mexican problem. And
I watched Narcos.
I will say now Colombians are overrated, and Mexicans are just okay. I guess I should be blunt here. They're mostly for target practice. If Trump doesn't cock on the wall, please use them as target practice. Very dynamic. It's fun for the kids. Bring them along for that. It's gonna be great. But going back to the whole topic with Islam, as Bagaina explained here so eloquently, the whole point is that
Bob.
No, you're definitely Bagaina on this. Shut up. No. Today's Bagaina. So far you're being my bitch. So today's Bagaina, next day is Bob if I feel like it. Okay. Now well, I mean, not now. We're live, so no Bob opening room today. But yeah, as he explained, the biggest problem that we have is primarily dealing with a lot of the Gulf states and Turkey, and I guess if you want to be a bit more Israel in regards to the ideologies they possess, specifically more with Islam, we need to be more careful with Wahhabism and Salafism due to the rather retarded and crazy nature of how they behave, and they and basically just the way that they kind of try to take the image of them being, the real Islam. By basically doing so, I guess the biggest thing that we as the West should do is basically completely and utterly wipe them out, not have any more of them in the West that we can, kick out as many of them as we can realistically manage, and basically just make sure that all of those countries can be relegated into nothingness as they were a couple hundred years ago, until basically the British and the Americans found out that they have oil, and basically just relegated to what they were, basically just a bunch of retarded sand nomads. So that's what we should be doing. And basically from there, just dealing with them alone, since they're the major threat. Admittedly, you could have your disagreements with all other schools of Islam, but at least for the sake of focusing our energy into what's actually dangerous, those are the groups that we should focus on. Basically, other groups like Shiites, Alawites, Ismailis, whatever there might be there, those are generally speaking not that much of a threat, or they're not a threat in the slightest. Therefore, might as well just kind of not waste our time with them. This is not really white knighting for their ideology so much as it is kind of like, they're not really anything to actually worry about in the context of the West. So leaving them alone is just more so as saving resources, anything. So so basically from there, we're gonna try to make sure to get that fixed. So yeah, basically just focus most of your efforts on dealing with the Wahhabis, because quite frankly, they're gay.
They're pretty gay. So, well, that we'll cut it off, and we'll talk about some other shit and ramble on about immigration and IQ and race.
The thought question, perhaps.
the thought question, the eternal thought, and all kinds of stuff.
Bug people, if that's your thing.
Yeah. So thank you for the 1 or 2 viewers that were fucking watching this live. All the best.
Oh, thank you.
This is Vagina.
BNS pulling out.
See you all later.